Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we explore the fascinating world of coins from across the decades and dive deep into their history, values, production, and everything that makes them unique and collectible. Today we turn our attention to the Lincoln penny from the year 1978, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but carries with it layers of historical context, minting evolution, design significance, economic influence, and numismatic interest that tell a broader story of American coinage and society at large. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, replaced the Indian head cent that had circulated since 1859, and was the first United States coin to feature the likeness of an actual historical figure, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose leadership during the American Civil War left an enduring legacy of unity and emancipation. Commissioned in honor of Lincoln's 100th birthday, the design of the obverse or front side of the coin was created by Victor David Brenner, a renowned sculptor whose initials VDB would become a key element in early versions of the coin and whose design would remain mostly unchanged for over a century. By the year 1978, the Lincoln penny had already seen nearly 7 decades of production and numerous changes in minting techniques, compositional materials, and political and economic environments. The 1978 Lincoln penny holds a particularly interesting place in this lineage, as it represents one of the final years before the major compositional shift that would occur in 1982, when the United States Mint transitioned from a primarily copper-based alloy to a zinc-based core due to rising metal prices and budgetary considerations. In 1978, the Lincoln cent was composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that had been standard since 1962 when tin was removed from the original bronze alloy that had been in use since the late 1800s. The weight of the 1978 penny was approximately 3.11 grams, and it had a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a plain edge and a solid copper color that distinguished it visually from later zinc-based cents, which would eventually exhibit a slightly different tone and wear pattern over time. 3 major mints were responsible for the production of the 1978 Lincoln penny. These were the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint, each producing coins with subtle differences and characteristics that have since drawn the attention of collectors and numismatists across the country. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of 1978 pennies with no mint mark appearing beneath the date on the obverse. The Denver Mint coins feature the D Mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced a limited number of proof coins bearing the S Mint mark, which were made specifically for collectors and never intended for circulation. These proof coins are notable for their sharp strikes, mirror-like fields, and frosted design elements, and are often found in mint sets or individual cases. To fully appreciate the 1978 Lincoln penny, it is essential to understand the broader historical context of the late 1970s in America. This was a time of significant economic and political transition marked by inflation, energy crises, and shifting attitudes toward government and policy. The coinage of the period reflects these trends in subtle yet meaningful ways. For example, as the price of copper continued to rise throughout the decade, discussions at the United States Mint began to intensify regarding potential changes to the cent's composition, leading to experimental minting and eventual conversion to a zinc core in just 4 years' time. In terms of design, the 1978 penny retains the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right based on Brenner's original engraving with the words, "In God We Trust," inscribed above liberty, to the left and the date, 1978 to the right below Lincoln's shoulder. If the coin has a mint mark, it is located just below the date on the reverse. We see the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears design in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This reverse design, created by Frank Gasparro, depicts the famous Washington, D.C. monument with a tiny yet visible seated statue of Lincoln visible between the columns, a subtle, Detail that symbolically links both sides of the coin through a unified tribute to the nation's enduring respect for its Civil War president. During 1978, the United States Mint struck over 8 billion Lincoln cents across all facilities, with the Philadelphia Mint producing more than 5.5 billion, the Denver Mint minting over 4.2 billion, and the San Francisco Mint creating roughly 3.4 million proof coins. The sheer volume of production makes most 1978 Lincoln pennies relatively common in circulated condition, but there exist certain varieties, errors, and high-grade examples that command significant interest and value in today's coin market. Some of the most sought-after varieties of the 1978 Lincoln penny include double die obverses, where elements of the design, such as the date lettering or Lincoln's profile, appear duplicated due to a misalignment during the die creation process. These double die varieties can range in value from modest premiums to hundreds of dollars, depending on clarity, rarity, and demand. In addition to double dies, other collectible errors from this year include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and coins struck on foreign or transitional planchets. Each of these errors offers a glimpse into the complexities of mass minting and the mechanical imperfections that can transform an ordinary penny into a prized rarity. Grading is also a key factor in determining a 1978 Lincoln penny's value. The Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor 1 to mint state 70, is used by professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC to evaluate the condition of coins. Those preserved in mint state condition, especially in MS 67 or higher, can be worth significantly more than their face value, particularly if they are free from marks, toning, and wear. Collectors often seek out full red specimens which retain their original copper color without oxidation or discoloration caused by handling or exposure over time. Coins graded as RD for red are generally more desirable than their RB or BN red, brown, and brown counterparts, and can command premiums even among otherwise common dates. To fully understand the 1978 Lincoln penny is to delve into the history of American coinage design, metallurgy, economics, and even politics. It reflects not only the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, but also the technological and artistic capabilities of the United States Mint during the late 20th century. As we continue to explore this coin throughout the rest of this video, we will break down key production numbers, analyze mint-specific differences, examine examples of valuable error coins, review tips for collectors, and share market trends and auction results to help you determine what your 1978 Lincoln penny might be worth today. So stay with me as we uncover the full story behind this iconic coin from every angle. And remember, whether you are a casual collector, a passionate numismatist, or just curious about the coins in your pocket, every piece of change has a story, and I'm here to help you discover it. An especially interesting category of error is strikes on foreign planchets or incorrect blanks. Sometimes foreign coin blanks intended for use in other countries or other U.S. denominations accidentally end up in the press and are struck with the Lincoln cent design. This produces extremely rare and collectible errors that can weigh differently, sound differently, or look completely unusual due to incorrect metal content. Beyond errors, another area of importance is the grading of the 1978 penny. The condition of a coin is one of the strongest determining factors in its value. Circulated coins usually grade from VF, very fine, to EF, extremely fine, and tend to hold minimal value unless they contain errors or are part of a larger collector's series. Uncirculated coins, especially those in mint state 65 or higher, with full red luster and no signs of wear, command higher prices, particularly if slabbed or certified by a reputable grading service. The Red Book, formerly known as a Guidebook of United States Coins, lists pricing for the 1978 Lincoln penny in various grades and provides insights into annual mintage figures, while auction records from heritage auctions or great collections show realized prices of high-grade or error specimens, helping collectors understand market trends and potential appreciation. Collectors of 1978 Lincoln pennies fall into different categories. There are type collectors who seek one example of every major type of U.S. coin, including cents, and prefer high-grade examples. Then there are date and mint mark collectors who seek a complete series of Lincoln cents from 1909 to present, often assembling albums and pursuing elusive, high-grade, or rare varieties. Era collectors focus on off-center strikes, double dies, and more. While some collect by year and variety, others collect by condition color or even by unique provenance or backstory. In recent years, interest in copper cents has surged due to both nostalgic and investment motivations. The 1978 penny especially appeals to collectors because it represents one of the final pre-zinc issues and because it is still commonly found in circulation with patience. This makes it one of the most accessible vintage coins for new collectors to pursue while still offering discovery potential. The cultural value of the Lincoln cent is also not to be underestimated. The coin has featured in countless educational kits, school lessons, wartime drives, and childhood piggy banks. It is perhaps the most handled coin in U.S. history, and yet even in its familiarity, it holds secrets and stories in the form of mint errors, rare varieties, and pristine survivors tucked away in rolls boxes and old dresser drawers across the country. By understanding the full context of the 1978 Lincoln penny, including its design, production, historical backdrop era, rare varieties and pristine survivors tucked away in rolls boxes and old dresser drawers across the country. By understanding the full context of the 1978 Lincoln penny, including its design, production, historical backdrop era varieties, grading standards, and collector appeal, we gain not only a clearer picture of a single year of coinage, but also a deeper appreciation for the rich tradition of American numismatics as a whole. Stay tuned as we move further into this in-depth examination, where we will take you through visual examples, side-by-side mint comparisons, strike analysis, collector interviews, and market projections that will help you determine the true value and collectability of the 1978 Lincoln penny in your hands or in your collection.